and welcome back to Billy's VHS Tapes. Today we're reviewing one of my favorite movies, Killer Klowns from Outer Space. A B movie that didn't bomb as hard at the box office as everyone thinks it did, and has gained a cult following of fans. One of those, it's so bad it's good kind of movies. Let's do some fun facts. The movie was written, produced, and directed by the Kyoto brothers, Charles, Edward, and Stephen. This is the only full-length film ever produced by the brothers. The Kyoto brothers were already well known in Hollywood for creating special effects. They're responsible for those little hairballs and critters, as well as the 6000 SUX commercial in RoboCop. After dabbling in special effects, they wanted to take a stab at making their own movie. The movie originally had the simpler title, Killer Klowns, but the brothers were afraid that everyone would mistake it for another slasher film. So they added on the outer space part to let everybody know just what they were in for. The movie was filmed in Watsonville, California on the Santa Cruz Boardwalk. Fans of comedian Christopher Titus will recognize him as the college kid in the opening scene, drinking a beer as he's waiting for the light to change. The popcorn gun was the most expensive prop and cost $7,000 and took nearly 6 weeks to make. 4 molds were forged to create the masks that the actors wore as the clowns in the movie. From each mold, they created 2 masks, giving us multiple different styles of clowns. Later, in 1991, the Kyoto brothers did production work for Ernest Scared Stupid, where they used old clown masks and repurposed them into trolls. The leader of the Killer Klowns, Clownzilla, was originally supposed to be a stop-motion creature. But when the budget grew thin, they decided to just have one of the Kyoto brothers play him in a suit. The movie cost $1.8 million to make, and it brought in over $43 million at the box office. So grab your popcorn and your cotton candy because it's movie time.
And now, our feature presentation.
The movie opens with an original theme song by the Dickies. We see Officer Mooney getting coffee, and we see our first look at his distaste for the college crowd. Up at the local makeout point, a place the kids call the top of the world, we're introduced to Mike and Debbie, who are on a date. Shortly after, Mike's friends, the Terenzi brothers, show up in their clown-themed ice cream truck. They're hoping to make some money off the horny college kids, but the college kids hurl beer cans at them and tell them to go away.
So you don't want any ice cream? Well, you're not getting any!
We were getting it before you showed up.
After they leave, Mike and Debbie see a shooting star fly across the sky. Debbie immediately dries up when she sees the shooting star and wants to go look for it. Elsewhere, we see an old man living in a cabin in the woods. Him and his dog Pooh Bear witness the star fall into their backyard. The old man thinks that the meteor is going to make him rich. This sounds familiar.
Meteor ship!
But when he sets out to find the meteor's landing site, all he finds is a circus tent. While investigating the tent, his poor dog Pooh Bear becomes the first victim of the Killer Klowns. The old man becomes very upset when he notices that his dog is missing, and he threatens to tear the tent down with his bare hands. But when he makes his attempt, he's electrified by one of the wires. The old man is then approached by Jumbo the Clown, who fires his cotton candy ray gun at him. On the other side, Mike and Debbie approach the tent on foot and are surprised to see it in the middle of the woods. They make their way inside and begin to marvel over all the wacky clown decor. But one wrong turn leads them to a room that should not be inside of a circus tent. The room resembles a nuclear reactor or a missile silo, making Mike and Debbie immediately regret their actions. They try to make their way out, but wind up in a room that appears to be for drying cotton candy. Upon further examination, they find out that the cotton candy is actually cocoons with dead humans inside of them. Rudy the Clown enters the scene and Mike and Debbie hide behind the cotton candy cocoons. Man, say that 5 times fast. But when Mike sees someone that he knows trapped inside one of the cocoons, he drops his flashlight, drawing attention from Rudy. As Mike and Debbie flee for their lives, Rudy grabs a popcorn gun and fires it at them. They barely escape the tent, and then they're chased through the woods by the clowns using their inflatable dog to sniff them out. Mike and Debbie hop in the car and they speed back to town to tell everyone about what they've seen. Preventing funny-looking aliens from invading our planet and taking humans home with them? Sounds like a movie plot to me! The clowns begin to make their way into town. We're then introduced to Officer Dave, Debbie's ex-boyfriend.
Drama.
Mike and Debbie plead their case about killer clowns in the woods, but Officer Mooney isn't convinced.
Killer clowns from outer space. Holy sh...
Mooney taunts them as they head out the door to investigate the situation.
Go ahead, Dave. Make a dummy out of yourself. But you're not gonna make a dummy out of me.
We then see the clowns invading the town with all sorts of gags. Rudy's intrigued by all the items that he can purchase at the local convenience store, while Spike the Clown puts on a puppet show to attract his next victim. We also see clowns making house calls, going door to door collecting victims.
For me?
Cut back to Mike, Debbie, and Dave in the police cruiser. Dave won't allow Debbie to return to the top of the world because he doesn't want to put her in danger. The boys then drop her off at her place and head back to the circus tent. Back up on the hill, Mike and Dave find a large hole where the circus tent used to be. Mike's proof is gone, leading Dave to believe that the whole thing was a prank. He slaps some handcuffs on him and throws him in the back of the cruiser. Meanwhile, at a biker bar, Shorty the Clown rolls into town. The bikers are not amused by him, and one of them smashes his bike to bits. Shorty then challenges the biker to a boxing match.
What are you gonna do?
Knock my block off.
Yeah, dude. He will. Horrified, the bikers hop on their hogs and speed away from the gruesome scene. Cut to a fast food restaurant fittingly called Big Top Burger, where we see Jumbo the Clown has caught the attention of a young girl and is trying to lure her outside. He plans to whack her with a large mallet. But luckily her mom stops her from going outside and tells her to come back to the table and finish her dinner. Back with Mike and Dave, the boys pass some empty cars parked at the top of the world. After examining one of the cars, Dave finds a cotton candy-like substance all over one of the vehicles.
That's the stuff.
Mike tells Dave that the college kids have all been abducted by the clowns, and if they've already been here, then they've already made their way into town. Back at the police station, the phone lines light up with reports of a clown invasion. Officer Mooney is convinced the entire town is playing a prank on him, and he ignores all of their cries for help.
Prig yous all.
While Officer Mooney is shooting for Officer of the Year, we cut back to Debbie, who doesn't notice the popcorn crawling on the ground as she's getting in the shower. She puts her popcorn-covered clothes in the hamper and it begins to shake like something's trying to get out of it. More on that later. Mike and Dave are driving around looking for clowns. They spot Slim the Clown performing the most impossible shadow puppets ever for a group of people at the bus stop. But the boys observe for too long, and the clown uses a dinosaur puppet to reach out and gobble up the audience. In a panic, Mike slides over and slams on the gas and tells Dave to run down the clown. Slim jumps straight up into the air and disappears as the boys crash into the brick wall behind him. With Dave finally convinced, he radios Mooney asking him to radio in the state police for backup. But Mooney still isn't having it, and he now thinks that Dave is in on the prank. He continues to ignore the problem and drops the one F-bomb in this PG-13 picture.
So f*** you. Over.
Mike and Dave then see the Terenzi brothers down the street chasing their ice cream truck. Oh, those wacky Terenzi brothers. What a couple of dumb shit. Mike and Dave split up. Mike decides to catch up with the Terenzi brothers so they can go around and warn people about the clowns. And Dave heads back to the police station to radio for the state police. At the police station, Mooney continues to watch the phone lines light up as Jumbo the Clown walks in to give him some flowers. Mooney immediately tries to arrest Jumbo, and after applying a little police brutality, Jumbo uses a party horn to claim Mooney as his next victim. When Dave shows up, the police station is empty and the power is out. A trail of clown shoe prints lead him to the cells in the back. Mooney had arrested 2 college kids earlier in the night, and Dave finds them wrapped up in cotton candy. He then finds Jumbo sitting in Mooney's chair. Jumbo reveals that he has in fact made a dummy out of Mooney, and he uses him to communicate with Dave.
Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you.
Jumbo then slides his hand out of Mooney's back and drops his dead, lifeless body onto the floor. Now that Dave knows there's no reasoning with the clowns, he begins to open fire. The bullets seem to have no effect on the clown, until Dave takes aim for his face and blows off Jumbo's nose. Now that he knows how to destroy them, he radios for the state police, asking them to come help fight off the clown invasion. Cut back to Mike and the Terenzi brothers. The brothers just aren't convinced that Mike is telling them the truth because he's pulled one over on them before. But as they turn the corner, they find themselves behind what can only be described as a clown killing parade. Confetti and streamers fill the street as the clowns surround a giant float. The float has a vacuum attachment that they're using to suck up cotton candy cocoons with. With the Terenzi brothers now convinced, they speed off to Debbie's place. But Debbie has problems of her own. Remember that creepy popcorn? Well, it turns out that's how the clowns reproduce. When the popcorn is placed in dark and secluded places, it begins to grow and take on the form of a clown. Debbie is attacked by clown babies.
You mean like a baby clown?
They pop out of her clothes hamper and her toilet and try to eat her face off. She runs for the front door and thinks that Mike is there, but it's actually just Slim doing an impression of Mike. Debbie then tries to jump out the window, but unfortunately just finds more clowns waiting for her. With no escape, the clowns corner her and trap her inside of a balloon. The clowns tie Debbie's balloon string to their car and begin to speed off just as Mike and the Terenzi brothers show up at her place. They chase after the clowns, catching the attention of Dave, who starts to follow them. The Terenzi brothers think they're being pulled over and slam on the brakes, leading Dave to crash into the back of their ice cream truck. With his cruiser totaled, Dave hops in the truck and the boys head to the amusement park, the one place that the clowns can hide in plain sight. The clowns pull up to the tent in the amusement park where they find a security guard. He kindly asks them to leave as they pull the old clown car gag. After exiting the car, the clowns then pull out some pies.
What are you going to do with those pies, boys?
They cover the security guard in what appear to be very acidic pies. The pies melt the security guard's skin and insides, leaving only his bones behind, turning him into a hot human sundae. The boys show up right afterwards and make their way into the funhouse. On their way through the wacky labyrinth, they just happen to lose the Terenzi brothers, who fall into a ball pit, where we meet what seem to be the only two female clowns that exist.
Are you Debbie's roommates?
We cut back to Mike and Dave, who have found their way to the cotton candy room. The cotton candy room is now full of cotton candy cocoons, implying that the clowns have taken the entire town. As they search for Debbie, Chubby the Clown shows up looking to sneak a snack before the clowns take off. Using a very large crazy straw, Chubby drinks all of the blood out of one of the cotton candy cocoons. After Chubby leaves, the boys spot Debbie in her balloon, and Dave uses his gun to pop it. But the gunshot draws their attention, and they send in the clowns.
Send in the clowns.
The clowns chase them to the funhouse, and just when they think they've gotten away, they find themselves in the belly of the beast. Clowns begin to pour out the woodworks and surround them as they climb to the highest structure in the room. Just when all hope seems lost, the Terenzi brothers crash through the wall in their ice cream truck. They're done honking the Clussy, and they're here to save the day. Using the microphone in their truck, they pretend to be a powerful clown named Jojo and command the clowns to stop. The gang is all in the ice cream truck ready to escape, but wouldn't you know, it won't start. A gong goes off and the clowns look up to the ceiling, leading to the reveal of the real clown leader. A giant-sized clown is lowered from the ceiling like a marionette puppet, and we're introduced to Clownzilla. Mike, Debbie, and Dave all flee from the ice cream truck as Clownzilla starts to approach them. But the Terenzi brothers refuse to leave the ice cream truck because it's rented, and you know, sometimes death is better than debt. Clownzilla makes sure the Terenzi brothers don't get their security deposit back, and he tosses them across the room like a folding chair. With the ice cream truck out of the way, there's now a hole in the wall that the trio can escape through. Dave starts to fire shots at Clownzilla to distract him while Mike and Debbie make their way to the exit. Just as Mike and Debbie get out, the ship begins to spin like a top and starts to take off. Back inside, Clownzilla has Dave right where he wants him. As Dave struggles to escape, he's able to use his badge to pop Clownzilla's nose and take him out for good. As Clownzilla spins and explodes, the whole ship ignites, lighting up the night sky with a fireball. As Mike and Debbie prepare to mourn their friends, a clown car falls from the sky. It lands in front of them and the police draw their guns, expecting the worst. Only instead of clowns popping out, we see that Dave has survived the entire ordeal. Also, somehow the Terenzi brothers survived. They weren't originally supposed to survive, neither was Dave, but test audiences wanted a more happy, upbeat ending. The Terenzi brothers then argue about how they're going to pay for the ice cream truck, while the others look to the sky, wondering if it's all really over.
Do you think it's over?
Yeah, sure.
And that's it! That's Killer Klowns from Outer Space. A dark, goofy movie that at times can be scary, but ultimately is a lot of fun to watch. I've loved this movie since I was a wee little Billy. Pretty sure I watched it for the first time on Sci-Fi Channel. They used to play it on that channel a lot. Recently, the movie has had a resurgence in popularity thanks to Spirit Halloween. They put out some really cool costumes, props, and other things that you can buy from the movie. And in 2022, an announcement was made about a Killer Klowns from Outer Space video game. Gameplay footage showed us that you can either play as the humans running from the clowns, or you can play as the clowns chasing after the humans. But it's now 2024, and as of this video, we still have not received a release date for the game. Well, that's about it for Killer Klowns from Outer Space. The Kyoto brothers have been trying to make a sequel forever, but last time I checked, it was owned by Fox, which is now owned by Disney, so good luck with that. For now, we'll just have to enjoy the original masterpiece. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to keep up on my channel. Remember, I've got over 500 tapes and we've barely even started, so make sure you keep coming back, okay? Okay, bye!